All right, guys. Welcome to everyone who's joined, and thank you. We've got the CSO of Tectum, Brendan, here today. So we're going to discuss. We're not just going to discuss Tectum. We are going to discuss Maine as well, and we're just going to have like a general chat. Later in the AMA, we'll be asking you guys to like come up with questions. So we'll open the chat. The five questions that we choose, Tectum have kindly offered five people soft notes, which we'll be explaining later in the AMA. But they'll be worth 0.001 Bitcoin, which is roughly $30 each. So five people are going to win $30 each. But yeah, welcome, mate. Do you want to just give an introduction of yourself?
Yeah, cheers, mate. Awesome. So, yeah, Brendan Young is my name. Trevor said he's trying to get in. Yeah, he thought it was on Twitter as well. All good.
Let me
Yeah, so Brendan
let,
Young,
sorry. Let me.
CSO.
What's his handle, bro?
Go.
Or ask him to request to speak, and I'll let him up.
Yeah, sure, we'll do.
Okay, sorry, mate.
Cool. So, yeah, CSO, basically I look after our essentially head of mass adoption. So I look after our sales team, which right now comprises of a few guys who are out on the road to onboard merchants for our system, as our EPOS terminal in the wallet is now live. So that's kind of our key focus at the moment. But being involved along the way with the guys who were selling TET in pre-sale and that kind of thing, and then just big help with marketing and everything. I run the weekly AMAs on our own channel. So yeah, that's kind of my involvement. I got into crypto initially early days in 2017, just as I bought a little bit of Bitcoin type of thing, but didn't get deeper into it until kind of about 2020. 2021 got heavily into the NFTs, and then been with Tectum now about a year and a half, and it's been a wild ride. It's been exciting, but we'll jump into some of that, I'm sure. I'm not sure if is Trevor made it on yet, if he wants to do a bit of an intro.
Yeah, he's just joined. I've just allowed him to speak, mate.
Beautiful.
Hey folks, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect, mate. Welcome, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, really, really good. Really good there. How are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. It's been really busy. Obviously, launched the project. It's a week. Actually, it's a week ago in an hour. I launched last week at exactly this time, and we've already done 3 AMAs. We've got 400 holders. We're sitting at about 300K market cap. So for a little project, we're doing quite well. We've got about 10 partnerships, including yourselves. So yeah, it's going well, mate. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Glad to hear
Nice,
that.
nice.
Yeah, so do
Well,
you want to just do you want to give a brief introduction of yourself, mate?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm Trevor McCarter, COO of Chris Mind, the parent company of the Tectum blockchain, and basically my crypto journey started way back in 2016, around that time. I started hearing about Bitcoin, didn't fully take it seriously. I was more in the physical assets camp, gold, silver, that kind of thing. But it kept cropping up. And as I studied more about it, I was thinking, it kind of came to the conclusion, all right, this is going to be a massive thing. But, it looks as though there's a bit of a scaling issue if it ever does get traction. And then as we kind of seen through the bull markets, we've seen fees getting higher, the blocks starting to take a long time to process, etc. So that's whenever I started doing research on blockchain technology and came across the Tectum project. I realized that they were able to do things that no other project could do. First thing that caught my eye was the layer one transactions that they could do, that they could do in about a 1 second flat at a very, very low fee. I started looking at the the depths of that. I started looking at the hashes and realizing, wow, this is genuine. How are they able to do it? So got in touch with the team, and we sort of hit it off right away, and joined the team after that. And that's basically how the story started with myself and the Tectum project. So that's a bit of an overview of how it came to how it happened.
That's amazing. That is, and obviously I spoke to you before, and you're a great guy. But do you want to just obviously because not everyone in here is like crypto savvy and stuff. So do you want to just, in a nutshell, explain in like a few sentences or like just what you're actually doing and how you make. I know exactly what you're doing, but obviously how you're making it easier and obviously with soft notes and stuff like that. How are you making it easier and obviously how does it work in simple terms though?
Yeah, sure. So, as Trevor said, the Tectum is a layer one that's a very fast blockchain. And once we hooked up the Bitcoin node and realized how fast we could move Bitcoin around, it of course became exciting. But what we saw was there's still a big issue, and it's with Bitcoin, but it's also with Ethereum and other networks as well, where they're hitting massive fees and huge lag time. So that's where the idea for the soft note was kind of born. And what the soft note is essentially, it's a smart contract, but it's a digital envelope that allows you to move your cryptocurrency for free, peer to peer, and in a retail environment. So for microtransactions and everyday payments, you can move cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or any other that we've integrated with, and you can do that for free. It happens instantly. And what's really cool about the soft note is that it can actually be used both in that public sector where you're making payments in retail, but also completely privately and decentralized too. So in the public payment gateway, everything's done through our wallet, which I kind of briefly mentioned earlier that we've the recent kind of big development with that is that we've built out our EPOS terminal API. So it basically allows our merchants, retail stores to hook into the back end of the wallet, and then they can then accept soft note. Now, our users need to be KYC'd, but the merchants, they will be, because that way they can still comply with AML compliance and all of KYC and everything like that, so that they can tick off all the tax boxes for their jurisdiction. But basically, as a retail payment system, it's going to be incredible there and save a lot of people a lot of fees. But then also the decentralized aspect where you can send it peer to peer over any text messaging platform. It's just done with a passcode. And in terms of traceability, we store none of that on our blockchain. All that's stored is just the hash of the transfer of the PIN code for that soft note. So we have no idea who the wallet or owner was that sent it. We have no idea who the person is that's receiving it. That's not stored or anything. So it basically is an additional layer of security on top of Bitcoin and other currencies. And of course, yeah, you can it's free for users to transfer, and very cheap for merchants. And of course, has that both public and decentralized manner to it. So quite a revolutionary concept. And yeah, we're now at the stage of kind of getting it out there and getting the world using it.
That's amazing, mate. That's amazing. And I was going to touch on something next because I know this is part of that as well. Obviously, you got incentives for like people to use soft notes as well. Sorry, mint them. Because I remember last time I spoke to you, isn't it? If you mint the soft note, you will always get fees from that or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right. So the way that it kind of comes about in soft notes coming into fruition is that first they need to be minted, similar to the idea of minting an NFT, right? But the TET token, which is the native token of the Tectum blockchain, it's a utility token, and its primary utility is to mint the soft note. And so when you first mint soft notes, they are initially come out as like an empty platform or a container, if you will, in whichever currency you've chosen to mint them. And then you need to fill them with liquidity. So that's a two-step
Sorry,
process,
mate.
right? You've got the
Sorry,
minting.
sorry to put it. To make it in simple terms, could you class it like as a blank check so people can write anything they want on it? Could you say it like that? Is that how it works in a simple
Eh,
term?
Kind of, but I mean, when you mint it, it's going to be in that currency. So it stays. If you mint Bitcoin soft notes, and it stays as Bitcoin soft note. And when you mint them, they do come out in denominations. So it's not like you can just get a soft note and customize the value of it. You
Yeah.
can mint any soft note you want, but once it's being minted, or when you first mint the 100 pack, that 100 pack will come out with some point 201, some 0.301, some 0.304s. You know what I mean? So they
Okay.
basically
Yeah. Yeah, I
they
understand.
already come out. Yeah, sure. But anyway, so you've got those two positions, right? The two stages is that it needs to be minted and then filled with liquidity. So each of those positions basically hold a license, and then that can be the same person or it could be someone different. So when you first mint the soft notes, as I said, they come in a 100 pack, and you might only choose to fill 2 or 3 of those. You can choose the whole pack if you want, but you might just use 1 or 2 of them. And then the other ones are available if somebody else comes along and says, well, I don't want to mint soft notes. I just want to grab one and load my Bitcoin on and send it away. Then they can come to the pool and they can just pick up an unfilled soft note. So then that soft note would have one owner for the minting license and one owner for the liquidity providing license. So, or you could mint and fill yourself. Either way, each position gets 20% of all of the transaction fees for the entire life cycle of the soft note. So if you mint and fill, you're going to receive 40% of transaction fees for every single time that soft note passes through a merchant terminal. So basically, you're just earning kind of that, a perpetual revenue on the side. That's just a bonus for being an early adopter or for being an adopter of the ecosystem itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's honestly, mate, it's absolutely mind blowing, to be honest. And I don't think people actually understand how powerful this is. Obviously, we're not in a bull market at the moment, but a lot of projects are struggling at the moment. But you've stayed strong, and I think once the market sentiment starts getting better, I think so many people are going to be using this and obviously I work with Mando quite a lot, and Mando's really close with you guys. And I know you got like a partnership, which is going to be like helping third world countries and stuff. And I don't think people understand how unbanking the system is going to be like. This is a game changer, really. Do you know what I mean? So helping like
Yeah.
third world countries and stuff like that. And I think it's going to be absolutely like mind blowing, especially in the ballroom.
No, you're spot on. And, it takes a little while normally for people to wrap their head around what the soft node is and what it can actually do. And one of the huge things that you've just highlighted is international transfer. So there's so many people who they leave their country to go find a better life where they can get a better job, and then they send money back to their family in their hometown. And the fees that people pay on that, whether they're doing, Western Union transfers or, Stripe, or whether they convert it into crypto, either way, they get hit with these fees. And for somebody who's sending, say it's $100 US, but they're sending that back to their family, which that could be like, a month's worth of food and that kind of thing. If for them to convert it into crypto, they have a fee. And then when they send it, they have a fee. And so by the time it gets to their family, it's only worth $90. Like that extra $10 for somebody in a third world country, it could mean another week of water, or do you know what I mean? Whatever the case might be. So the ability to be able to negate those fees and bring them down to basically in soft node it's free, so it's completely free. So they will of course need to have it, whatever network fee might be involved in initially loading them on if they haven't got filled liquidity. But still, that's cents on the dollar, very, very minimal cost compared to what they would otherwise have to face. So in terms of giving the unbanked, so people where their countries have corruption in the governments, I mean, most do, but there's some where it's rife, and they don't have the freedom and ability to be able to control their own assets. And they, if they do, they're comparing against the US dollar that is just completely smashes their economy. So Softnote really allows people to create their own economy and have their own independence that's completely untraceable and completely decentralized, and be able to move things around for free. So you're right, it's a game changer. It's revolutionary.
Douglas, your mic's on, mate.
Oops, sorry, I must have pressed that by mistake.
It's all right, mate. Nah, honestly, it's amazing, and obviously, like you just said, the hardest part about getting people to use this sort of technology is the first step, isn't it? Like even when the internet first come out or anything, like it's getting people to actually use it. But once people realize how simple it is to use, then it's just like anything else, isn't it? It's a matter of just simplifying it, which you are doing, and making it easy for the general public. Because you've seen how hard it is just for people to use like Uniswap and stuff like that. It's very hard. So I do think that you're like I love your platform, I love your website and stuff, and I think it's so like easy to like use and stuff. And yeah, you're doing a brilliant job, mate.
No, I
Do you want
appreciate it. I appreciate it. And now we just obviously want to focus on getting it out to as many people as we can, so people can start to understand and realize what's been created, what they've got in their hands.
Yeah, and that's why we're here doing AMAs, and I'll help you as well. So obviously, I'm a long-term ambassador for you guys anyway. Obviously, you've got some great people on board. Like a lot of my friends are on board with you as well. Yeah, and honestly, you're doing amazing. And your CEO is a lovely guy, really lovely guy. Russell, I always speak to him. So, but I honestly, if you haven't checked him out, guys, make sure you just go and have a look at the website. Just sign up. There's nothing, you don't have to invest. Just have a look at their technology and make your own decision. But they've been around for quite a while now. You know, a lot of reputable people are actually helping them as well. So make sure you check them out. Another thing I'm going to say, obviously, we spoke about the incentives for the minting of soft notes, but say, for example, you don't want to use soft notes. If people hold your token, Tet, can they just do something with it like staking and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have had a huge, so the with our token, it's running on the ERC20 network, and then we have our own T12 protocol as well, which is what our blockchain runs on. But in terms of ERC20 staking, which if you've bought the token from any of the DEXs or CEXs, it's wrapped. And in that scenario, Unicrypt has been staking with us for the last couple of months. That's about to wrap up, and we're now moving people over to SDEX, where there's a huge farming pool over there. So when that first went, it was at like 600,000%. I'm not sure what it's down to now, but it's massive rewards. Like your APY returns are huge, and part of the reason we did that is because we didn't yet have staking for our own T12 protocol holders, which we are building as well. So you'll be able to actually stake our native token on our native protocol as well as ERC20. So big rewards over on SDEX. I think it's still running on Bybit as well. But yeah, definitely we're all about staking and rewarding the community as much as we can.
Nice. And what do you have like separate pools? So like you have like a 30-day pool or something, or does it run out after a certain time, or how does it work?
Trevor, are you across the SDEX farming? To be fair, I haven't had a big deep dive into it myself.
Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry, 'cause I know what it's like. I'm sorry, I didn't want to just drop questions. But obviously, normally you like load a certain amount of rewards into the pool, but it doesn't matter. That's just a question for myself, anyway.
Yeah, from what I can gather, you basically take a certain amount of your crypto, bring it to the farm, and then at the moment we're getting about 19% APY on that. So
That's nice. Nice.
yeah. So that's been running for about a week now, and you can put in any amount of crypto or any amount of TET or STEX tokens. So it's paired up between the two.
Oh, I see. So you don't just stake TETs. You have to stake both tokens.
Yes, yeah. And the
You have to
reason for
stake
that,
both, Trevor?
I'm pretty sure you have to stake both, because that's the way their algorithm works. They've got an algorithm there that, oh, what is it called? IP or something like that there.
Yeah, I
I
know what
forget
you mean. There's two different ways of staking. Obviously, because it's on a DEX, they want liquidity to build on their pair against yours. So I know what they're doing, and it's a good idea, to be honest. And obviously, it's good because you'll get a lot of the SDEX holders like holding your token as well. So I know exactly what they're doing, which is great. But in future, you probably could make your own staking system where you could just stake single staking. And actually, I know someone that does that. So if you need any help, just let me know.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
so that's a good point. That's what our devs are working on. We will be opening up our staking on our own T12 protocol. And with Unicrypt and Bybit, it's just single staking. There's no other coin you have to stake. I didn't realize that was the case with SDEX. But yeah, like you say, I've seen that scenario set up before. But I believe you can still stake on Bybit. And yeah, once we launch our own T12, that'll be just single token staking as well.
Yeah, because to be honest, I don't think many people like, say for example, they're already on SDEX and the tech holder, it's perfect for them. But people who just want to hold your token don't want to have to buy. So you're definitely doing it the right way by doing your own as well, and you'll see a lot more of your tokens out of circulation once you do that. Another thing was, are you planning on bridging your token, or are you going to just stay on the ETH, like ERC20?
Yeah, so we actually have what's called a tri-bridge, and it's like a dynamic smart wallet, which basically allows a bridge between T12, ERC20, and BEP20. We don't see at this stage any need to go to any more than that, but at least that gives the options of ERC20, which is most popular, but it's also most expensive. BEP20, which is one of the cheapest, that's very well known, and then T12, which is the fastest and by far the cheapest. So, we do transactions on T12. Aside from the soft note, this is on the layer one, but they're about 15 cents. So, much cheaper than kind of anything else that's out there, and that's at that 1 point whatever million transactions per second. So, it's yeah. It gives those three options as far as we see. I think that's going to cover everything. But if anything, the need comes up for, we can always look at pivoting anyway if we need to. But at this stage, I think ERC20, BEP20, and T12.
Yeah, and then we are going to implement our own token standard as well. So eventually down the line, people can migrate their tokens from native networks onto our networks. And again, the idea would be to have a cheaper and faster transaction on our layer one as against the native network. So that's going to be a future plan as well.
Well, maybe we can do it on my token. Nah, you're probably more like for big brands, aren't you? But yeah, I could look at doing that for mine because obviously it's on ETH, so it would be nice to have cheap transactions. But no, great job, guys. Sounds really interesting and really amazing. Do you want me to open the floor up, like the chat, to let people ask some questions, and then you can answer some of the community?
Absolutely, but I also want to hear a bit more about Maine, man. It kind of it came up really quick for me, and then it kind of sold really quick too. Yeah, I know that it only kind of rebirthed in the last month or whatever it was. But this is something that you kind of were originally
1
planning
week, bro.
a few years ago. Is that right?
No. I had this idea 9 days ago, literally 9 days. Obviously, I
So
broke
it
my
was as
leg.
quick as what the Twitter sort looked.
You what? Sorry.
I said, so it was as quick as what the Twitter looked.
Yeah.
Like it just popped up in September, and it was like bang, bang, bang. Here we go.
Yeah. So basically, I've been doing marketing for 7 years. I've been in crypto since 2016. I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of projects raise a lot of money and market, and I even helped PancakeSwap when they first launched. I've helped X Academy and all these big companies I've helped. And obviously, I've always done marketing, so I get paid to do promotions, which I'm quite open about that. A lot of people try and say they're not paid, but you're not going to work for nothing, are you? So people that say they're not, they're just lying. But yeah, I get paid for promotions. So I had an idea. Why not tokenize my brand? So, for example, every time we get a promotion in, say, for example, you was paying me for the AMA today, which you're not because I'm a long-term partner and I wanted you here. But a lot of projects ask me for promotions. Like, for example, some call groups charge $3,000 for an AMA. I'm not that greedy. I charge like $300 or $400. So what the plan is, every time someone books a promotion, they send it to the marketing wallet, and that marketing wallet then buys back and burns our native token main. On top of that, every transaction, it's got 5% tax. 3% goes to the marketing and buyback wallet, and obviously development. 1% goes straight into the contract burn, and 1% goes to holders. So every time someone buys and sells, your tokens grows in your wallet, and a percent of it goes onto the contract burn. In 7 days so far, we've already rewarded over 400,000 tokens to the holders in a week. And also 400,000 tokens have been burnt in the contract, and we've actually bought buybacks and burnt 3.3% of the supply. So in just 7 days, we've burnt 3.7% of the supply. We've got 10 partnerships already with yourselves, Shido, PropChain, lots. You can go on the news group and check anyway. We've just signed another partnership this morning with a new coin called Lingo Coins, which is going to be one of the top RWA projects, which is real world assets. They're doing it with it's going to be like an estate. They're going to be buying property and rewarding holders air miles and stuff like that. But it's massive. They've got like a multi-billion-dollar CEO, and they've just got the top names, like Scott Melker, Lady of Crypto and stuff. They're all involved. So we've just signed a partnership with them, and I'm one of their main ambassadors, and I helped them arrange their call list. And yeah, I'm more or less just tokenize my brand, so my community can share the journey with me.
What a clever idea, man! Like it's quite simple. I love all the little rewards and little kind of dynamic bits and pieces, the characteristics you've given to the token, but it makes perfect sense. Like why would you not do that, especially when you've built up a platform like what you've built up, and it's just like buying shares in a company. If a company's been around for a while and you can see that they've got a reputation and they do what they do well, why wouldn't you want to buy into that? And then when you've got something that is increasing in value, you're burning it gets you rewards. It's just like, it's a win-win for everyone. It's brilliant. I like the concept.
Cheers, brother. And another thing what I want to just make clear is the running costs are minimal. So even in a bear market, it's so easy to run this simple project. It's I haven't got developers, I haven't got I'm not say for example your project in a bull run, you're going to do fucking amazing, but in a bear market it's hard, isn't it? Because you still got to pay your developers and like all the people selling on you and stuff like that. And every CEO I speak to lately is struggling with volume and all this sort of stuff. The good thing about this little project, and it is a little project, so it's I've just 7 days old. I do want to scale it out and bring in different marketing companies to help me as well. But at the moment, it's just me, a one-man band, working 18 hours a day. But yeah, if you want to join the journey, feel free.
That's wicked, man. That's wicked. Hard work, it gets rewarded. So good on you, man. I like it.
Cheers, bro.
Yeah,
Right,
really
let's
good.
open the. What's that, sorry?
Yeah, really good. Really interesting concept there.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. I'm going to open the chat up now, guys. So get ready to ask your questions. I'm going to pick 5 questions, and then give the usernames to. I'll give it to you, Brendan, later in our group, and then we'll sort the soft notes out. All right. I'm going to leave the chat open for about 1 minute. Let's see how fast the questions come in. Jesus Christ, it's going to take me ages to read through this. Right, I'll give it another 20 seconds and I'll close it because we've got way more than 5 questions.
I reckon that first one that came through on the node, that's a good one. Trevor can probably shed some good light on that.
Yeah, which one is that?
Do me a favour, mate. Can you, if you pick a question, can you just grab his username and put it into our group so we can keep track of what questions you've picked?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to read this one out?
Read it out and grab his username and just paste it into our chat.
Yeah, easy. So it's from Tom Y, and he said, quickly, I just want to know what are the minimum hardware requirements for nodes to operate smoothly on the network?
Yeah, great question there. So the way our blockchain is developed, the hardware requirements is basically an ordinary laptop, ordinary computer, ranging from there to a little bit, a little bit of a gaming computer. So just to give you a little bit of background story there, like we tested our nodes out a few years ago in a lot of conditions, and my node was, I wanted to test it as best I could there. So my node was on a really old laptop that was Wi-Fi from a cellular network, and the node that I was having was still producing something like 700 or 800,000 transactions a second, and that ranged right up to 1.3 million transactions a second. And the nodes that were running that amount, they were just normal computers, basically normal computers there. Um, our consensus mechanism that we're running is called proof of utility. So basically, you've got a couple of ways, a couple of requirements for that. It's just basically your uptime with the internet, so no blackouts, and having a minimum requirement of hardware. The minimum requirement is only just a standard laptop and whatnot, and you will be able to, with our hardware, or sorry, with our application, you can run a node at 1 million transactions per second. So doesn't need anything special. The difference is with us and, let's say, Bitcoin uses a proof of work concept, and that is for mining a coin, mining Bitcoins. And that's a very good concept for Bitcoin. That's exactly what's needed, because it's, everything's hardwired into the Bitcoin concept. But with ourselves, all we're doing is, what would you say, facilitating transactions. We're facilitating, what do you call it, transactions, soft node transactions, token transactions, things of that nature, in blocks and all that. So that's where we're at the moment with that. If that kind of answers the question.
Yeah, and he asked what was the minimum hardware requirements, Trev?
Yeah, standard laptop.
There you go. Simple as that.
Amazing. So anyone can do it. Do you want to pick the questions, mate? Because they're all for you. So
Yeah,
if you want to pick
I don't
them,
mind picking them.
yeah, and just if grab their usernames, and then just post them in the group. Because I'd rather you pick the ones that you feel comfortable and you want to answer.
Yeah, no, sure. I'll just try and grab some randomly because there's heaps of good stuff here. But look, what makes Tectum different to other blockchains? I think that's a good question that people always want to know. Like, well, why should we listen to this project as opposed to another? So there's a few things. I mean, one is, of course, that we're the fastest blockchain in the world right now. I don't know if we emphasize that, but we operate at over 1 million transactions per second. And as Trevor was telling a bit of a story there, when they first did testing, just on a basic laptop, we got up to 1.3 million transactions per second. So the fact that we have the ability to move native cryptocurrencies, that's Bitcoin, that's Ethereum, that's whatever we choose to integrate, we can move them at such high speeds, which is a massive one of the trilemmas. So if you know about the trilemmas in cryptocurrency, one of the issues is that you hit with lag time and delay. If you want to go and buy a coffee, and you're standing in line and there's 10 people behind you waiting for their coffee, and you go, yeah, sure, I'm just going to make my payment, and then you need to stand there for 5 or 10 minutes waiting for it to go through, then that's not very scalable for cryptocurrency to enter or really cross that retail barrier. So the fact that we are such a fast blockchain is a big thing. The fact that our fees, if you're moving stuff on the native network, are cheaper than anything else out there. So if you're just not even, forget about the soft node, if you're just using Tectum as a blockchain or a Tectum wallet and you're moving your Bitcoin around, it's only going to cost you like 12 to 15 cents, as opposed to, it might cost you $3 or $4, or depending on the amount, it might cost you a lot more than that if you're moving it on the Bitcoin network or if you're moving it in any other way. And then
It's
on top of
amazing,
that as
that is.
well, it is. On top of that as well, of course, the soft node is a layer 2 scaling solution, but you've got to remember that maybe you don't realize, but ChrisMind, the parent company of Tectum, it actually started out as a cyber security company. And I don't think people really kind of grasp just how secure a soft node becomes, because it's on top of a blockchain itself that uses hashing algorithms, right? And we have our own unique consensus method. We add an additional layer of security to Bitcoin. So if you think Bitcoin is already secure, we add another layer that needs to be, if it could even be, hacked to get back to the native network, which it can't be, because it's the information that we store is hashed, right? So you can't, a hash only goes one way, it can't be reversed. So we add security in that way, and then on top of that, then if you are talking about the soft node, then there's nothing even recorded. There's no wallet address recorded for sender or receiver. There's only a passcode that changes from a dynamic passcode when you exchange one soft node to another person. The only thing that is recorded is the change of passcode to access that soft node. And so in that regard, you've then got a third layer of security. So it's like, we're the fastest, we're the cheapest, and we're the most secure. So I think in terms of what makes Tectum different to other blockchains, that sums it up for me.
Yeah, amazing. Really, really, really good.
Awesome. We've got another one here that I thought is pretty good too. We might have touched a little bit on it there, but can you inform us about the risk management strategies that your project has to safeguard the platform's investments and credits? And how do you truly assure that you have a backup basis to fall back on in case of a problem or unexpected changes in the crypto market as we see at the moment? Do you want to speak a little bit to that, Trevor? Or I can, either way.
Yeah, sure. So, like with the risk management there, we're in a bear market. We've we've been a company there that's been running 8 or 9 years, so we've been through the bulls and the bull markets and the bear markets throughout that period there. And it's we always have something in the treasury there to make sure that we can always weather any storm. And that's always been the game with us there, and pretty much always will be. When it comes to the crypto markets, we really don't look at the screens and see what's going on there. Our target is to develop value where we can, and it's good whenever you're starting to see green candles and we're in a bearish phase. That's great. It leaves life a lot easier and whatnot. But in a bear market, that's when you build utility, and we've got a utility coin. We always talk about the utility of our token. We always talk about utility of it, and we're building a system there for the long term. So a lot of these ups and downs there, we don't really pass any remarks on that. We always set something aside for a rainy day, and that's basically where we are right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. Because end of the day, as long as you're building utility and you've got value behind it, you're fine. The main problem with crypto is you get all the me mentality. Is when the price is going up, everyone's ecstatic and supporting you. When the price goes down, people are like, "You're the shittest project ever." When the project hasn't changed, it's literally just the price and like the sentiment of the market. So you're doing the right thing. You're building, and honestly, I've seen how much you've built, mate. Every other day, you're getting listing here, listing there, new developments here. Mate, every day there's about 3 different tweets to retweet. So yeah, kudos to you. Kudos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, absolutely. Absolutely. That was some from the top. I'll scroll down a little bit and see what we can find here. I've got one here, which is, I think, a good, just straightforward question. Is Tectum a decentralized blockchain? That's a great question. It will be. I'm not sure how much you understand about projects building out, but there's a certain point where a project can be set free, but everything has to be developed up to a point where it's completely functional and it can be set free, if that makes sense. So I suppose one of the things to rest assured with our blockchain and with Tectum as a whole is that if you're investing or purchasing into Softnote, or you're moving liquidity onto Softnote, as I mentioned earlier, you can't get much decentralized than that. Like it's a third layer of security on top of Bitcoin. So it's ridiculously secure in that sense. And in terms of decentralization, it's a big part. It's a big topic of discussion that we have internally, because we're really pushing for it to happen as soon as possible. Because of course, that it just means that everything is kind of wrapped up in that neat little bundle of it's just this great safe little package. So Russell and myself are pushing for that. Of course, as I mentioned, the developers need to get things to a point where they can basically lock it up and set it free and allow all other people to then build on it and everything like that. But we have opened up the ability for developers to now play with our API, so they can actually play around with all of our code on that and see how things are operating. And that there are some community members with nodes, so we're getting closer and closer. And soon enough it will be completely decentralized.
That's amazing as well. Fair play. So that's the third question. You got two more to choose.
Yeah, I can take the next one there. So we got one from XZO Merchant. He's asking, can you explain how Tectum's blockchain achieves such fast transaction speeds? And the short end of that basically is the hashing algorithm that we've implemented. And basically, our blockchain is pretty much like an overlay network. So we can overlay onto any database, any crypto or any crypto network, and using our hashing algorithm, that basically just takes a blueprint or a hash of the information that's been moved around, but it doesn't actually store the data itself inside that block. So basically, it's all about hashing there. If there's any movements on the blockchain, it takes a hash. That hash is cryptographically encrypted, so we can't actually see the information. We just see the hash of the information itself. The information is on a lower level, and that's what gives the top tier of the blockchain such fast transaction speeds, and is fundamentally different from what people think of blockchain of the Bitcoin network. The next part is, how does Tectum ensure immutability of transactions? Again, that's all to do with the hashing algorithm, and it takes a hash of the blocks moving forward, and it's the hash is made on the block there and then, and there's no time delay on it. It's not like Bitcoin's network where you have to wait 10 minutes in order for that block to be verified. Our block is verified as soon as the hash is taken, so there's no chance of people going backwards on the blockchain. Whereas on the Bitcoin network, you've 10 minutes to try and hack it. The next part: can you provide more details about Tectum's partnership opportunities? We've got an ambassador program. If you go to softnote.com, there is a page there where you can become an ambassador, and you can fill that out. Or if if you want to have a partnership opportunity there, basically fill out the forms, and then we'll get someone to evaluate them and see whether we pass it or not. After we do our DD on the opportunity. And then the last part of it is, what are the advantages of Tectum's Layer 1 scaling solution? So it's Tectum. We've got a Layer 1 for Bitcoin. Anybody right now can open up a Softnote wallet and transfer Bitcoin, and you can take a look at the fees, you can take a look at the speeds, and you'll see that we are cheaper and faster on a Layer 1. The scaling solution for Bitcoin is on Layer 2. Layer 2 is the Softnote. So it's just to give you a little bit of detail on that. So yeah, that's the question from XZO Merchant.
Yeah,
Right.
nice, Trevor. That's actually all 5 there, Scott. But if you want to run another one, happy to go for a 6th.
No. We said 5. We'll keep it at 5, mate. But yeah, no, honestly, it's been absolutely a pleasure to have you. And yes, I'm really, really excited for what's going to happen with you guys. Obviously, I've got quite a big bag, and I'm really excited to see it grow in the ball run. To be honest, mate, I'm rooting for you guys, mate. I believe in the technology. I believe in what you're actually bringing. I honestly would tell everyone, even if you don't want to invest, just go and check out the technology, go and check out the website, go and check out like what you can do. Just make sure you give them a chance and just check them out. Obviously, not financial advice, but I believe in the ball run. This is going to be one of the top companies. But no, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Nice, man. Appreciate that. You couldn't have said it better myself. So thanks for having us on, man. Always good to jump on.
Yeah, cool. Thanks a lot for everyone who joined. The people's questions that was answered, Brendan or whoever's going to sort it out will DM you. We've been explaining how to claim the soft notes. But yeah, thanks a lot for
Look,
coming.
guys, what I'll do is I will send you a DM right now. So don't fret that it's anybody else. I'm going to send those 5 people. I've got your names recorded right here. I'm going to send you a DM, and I'll even tell you what I'm going to say, just so that you. Oh, look, I'll just say, congratulations on winning the soft note or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, or they can DM you if they want. Like,
they can DM me if they want. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I know that some people have issues with security, though. I don't know why. Like, some people do, some people don't. They say, "Oh, I've been trying to message you."
There's so many scammers, mate. Honestly, we've had 3 different main groups pretending they're giving airdrops. The scammers are relentless, bro. That's why everyone does want to click anything these days, which I don't blame them.
Cool.
All right, thanks a lot for everyone who joined, and we'll get you back on very short, like soon, when you got some updates and stuff.
Beautiful, man. Sounds good. And look, best of luck with your project too. I hope it continues to just blossom.
Thanks, mate, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Cheers, and good luck with the project there. It's looking really good.
Thanks a lot, mate. I'll send you this AMA in the group as well, so if you want to put it in your group, people can catch up. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, sounds good.